All right, joining us now. She's in her second season back at Alabama as the assistant coach. Was a three-time All-American and national champion as a player at Alabama. I speak of Kayla Braud, back here with us on In the Circle D1 Softball. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Excited. Softball season is upon us, so I'm stoked.
Let's talk about this year's team. You go 4-1 in the Kendrea Classic, a marquee tournament that included you, Arizona, the host, and of course, in Washington, among others. I know Coach Murphy described it as one of the toughest opening weekends that he's been part of. What did you learn about your team that opening weekend?
Yeah, I was really honestly really happy with our team. We have 9 newcomers, so I think it's always going to be interesting to see how number one the team as an entirety meshes, but how the newcomers play in the jersey for the first time. And I was so impressed with our freshmen, how mature they were. They just made an impact right away. I was really impressed with the transfers. They just felt like they've been here for a really long time. Brooke Elistad, Lex Papillo led off almost every single game for us in the weekend and 2 transfers. And I'm telling you, they just felt so comfortable. Like they fit right in, but they were meant to be here. So it was really cool to see the newcomers and how they fit with the team. But also the returners, I thought every single returner that played got better, showed us that they were better from last season. And I think that's really important. We have a lot of pieces this year. We have a lot of new faces, but I think we are super talented. We have so much athleticism. We have a ton of speed. We had 21 stolen bases on the weekend, which is almost as many as we had all of last season. So I absolutely love that. I love that we're going to be a team that can run, that can put pressure on the defense. And I think in our 4 wins, we had a lot of different ways to win. We showed power, we showed athleticism and speed. We played um, decent defense behind our pitching staff. So overall, it was a really good weekend.
You mentioned the 21 steals, third in the country already this week. I remember when we talked when you got hired that one of your goals was to bring back the speed and the short game at
Yeah.
Alabama. Where are you? Are you close to where you want to be? Where are you now a year in?
Yeah, I think we have a lineup to do it. Really excited. So we have really good speed threats. Audrey Vandegrift, the freshman who's new to campus this season. Uh, I mean, Larissa Pruitt just had an unbelievable weekend, and she's not necessarily a short gamer, but she has the ability to steal at will as well. Kristen White, all of them can bunt, all of them can hit away now. They can all slap. They can do whatever we need them to do. They're very dynamic. So whatever we ask of them, they're going to be able to do. So I think we're just absolutely on the right foot. And not only that, they create one of the fastest outfields in the country, if not the fastest outfield in the country, hands down. So I love where we're at with the speed game right now.
Audrey set the school record 5 steals in a single game. As a team, you had 10 steals in the last game there. Speak of Audrey, what she brings to the table there as a freshman.
Yeah, Audrey is just really dynamic. Obviously, she was a track star in high school, so she brings elite speed. And it's cool to see her because we haven't really had like a true track athlete, at least in my recent memory, somebody that just is a pure runner that has the exact form that you would want for running. So not only is she just naturally really gifted, but she's mastered the craft of running. So that's what she brings first and foremost. She just has a God-given ability to run and run well. But not only that, she's really mature. She doesn't look like a freshman when she plays. She doesn't act like a freshman at practice. She's wise beyond her years. She has really big aptitude for the game. She wants to learn. She wants to be coached. She's just one of those kids that you love having on your team because she's hungry for knowledge. She wants to get better. She wants to compete. She has a really good mentality at the plate, and I'm really excited for her.
In a day and age where everybody focuses on power and hitting for extra bases, how do you implement the short game and the speed like you have? That was your goal. How do you implement that into today's players?
Yeah, we talk about a lot. We always want our hitters to be dynamic where they can hit away, they can bunt, they can move the defense. But that's what we think is, and we talk about all the time, is that if you have the ability to place a ball, to drop a drag bunt, the defense will have to shift and you're going to have openings that you wouldn't have before. So that short game really opens up the opportunity for hitters to come through and have more opportunities, more gaps in the infield. Larissa Pruitt's a great example. Like she's worked really hard on her drag bunting. She's a hitter though. And her and Audrey were fun because they hit lead off in the last game against Western Michigan. They hit 1 and 2, and all 4 times Audrey got on, stole second. One time she stole third, and Larissa hit her in every single time. Larissa had 4 RBIs. It was 1-2 in the lineup. First batter gets on, next person hits her in. It was just like clockwork. So they just understand that building up from those basic principles of putting pressure on the defense opens up a plethora of opportunities for RBIs. So that's what our goal is we just want to set all of our hitters up so they can get RBIs behind them.
You go to Clearwater for the marquee tournament, a tournament you've broadcasted.
Yeah.
How unique is that going to be back there as a coach and seeing a lot of your former colleagues that are be there day and night? As you know that
Yeah.
shift well.
I'm really excited. I've already been texting Madison Shipman. I'm stoked to see everybody. I know she calls a couple of our games, but it's gonna be a fun tournament. I loved calling it, and it felt like a summer ball tournament because you're walking through the complex and you see all these teams and everybody's walking through at the same time, tons of fans. It just kind of felt old school, but you're talking about top tier programs competing on television. So it's a summer ball feel, but a really, really big time platform for these kids. So it's a really great product to watch. It's a really good product to be a part of. I loved calling it because it just game after game felt like a really big deal from the preseason. You're really getting an early sense of the identity of these programs, and they're competitive, man. They are so competitive. It means something, especially when you add the TV element. Just people rise to the occasion. So it's a great opportunity for us early in the season to go face a lot of really, really strong teams. We'll play San Diego State, Liberty, Ohio State, UCLA, and Oklahoma State. So you talk about building up your resume, making your RPI go up. It's a really big weekend for everybody at this tournament.
What are you looking forward to keep learning about your team this week, or maybe some areas you want to improve on from week one?
Yeah, I think we're going to keep working the puzzle pieces. I think rotating the lineup a little bit, trying to figure out who is going to fit defensively for us. We have so many options. We're a lot deeper than we were a season ago, and that's fun, but it makes it more difficult to craft the lineup for sure. But we just have a lot of tools, a lot of weapons. So seeing how that's going to fit with different matchups, especially against pitchers. If we're facing an up ball pitcher, we might go with a certain lineup versus a down ball pitcher, just trying to play to our strengths a lot. So I think exploring those options for us is going to be a really big deal. I think that there were some things defensively, some decision making things that I think we could have improved on that we've talked about at practice this week that we're going to continue to do. Just leveling up our game knowledge, making sure that we're making the best decision that the situation calls for, knowing where we need to go when the ball game's tied versus when we're up by 6. Just working on those types of things. And then for our pitching staff, just continuing to understand how important it is to limit the free passes.
What's been your thoughts, Caitlin Riley? Certainly going along with Jocelyn Brisky, and of course you got Emily there. What's been your thoughts on the pitching staff there as they blend in?
Yeah, I think they're a pitching staff that they work really well together. First and foremost, I think they're going to balance each other well because they all offer something a little bit different. They all have their skill sets. Emily Winstead and Caitlin Riley, obviously new to our program, and they're both seniors, so we'll only have them for a year. But it's been really fun getting to know them, getting to know. They're really competitive, and I think that's great. They want to get in there, they compete, they have really good presence, really good composure in the circle. So what they're working on is fine tuning that like location, making sure again that situationally we understand that they might give up a single, but they're not going to give up a double. They're not going to break. They're going to get the next batter out. So trusting that. And the same thing with Jocelyn Brisky, just building upon that experience from last year. She was so good for us, especially late in the season down the stretch. Pitched some really good games for us that led us into the Women's College World Series. So for her, it's just continuing to grow, continuing to sharpen those tools that she has. And I'm really excited for her.
Let's talk about you now. You're in your second season as a coach. How are you different today than you were, say, a year ago at this time?
Yeah, I think I'm a lot more confident actually in myself. Not that I wasn't last year. It's just having a year of experience under your belt and playing a 50 plus game season helps a lot when you understand what the team needs of you, um, what the scouting really looks like. It's just different than TV. So adjusting to all of that has been really good. Um, I feel a lot more confident in my teaching abilities, working with the offense a lot more this season. I'm really excited about that. Just again, broadening the ability to communicate with girls. Like, um, I coached a lot, obviously, but it was mostly high school age and lower. So, reaching college girls, trying to figure out how to get them to click, how to communicate with them effectively, um, has been really big for me. So I'm really excited. Murph, I love having Murph as a head coach because he gives me a lot of autonomy, especially in the outfield. I feel so much ownership for that. So it's been really cool. I'm really happy and really excited for this year. And yeah, feeling really confident. So.
I could sense that in your voice. What was the biggest thing you learned that you didn't know going? You knew about, hey, certain things you expected from the job. There was one or two things that are like, ooh, I didn't know that. And you had to learn there as a first year coach.
Yeah, I think to be quite honest with you, there's so much that went into coaching that is not X's and O's, is not softball related. And I think that was the biggest learning curve for me is obviously recruiting was different. That was probably the thing that I had to learn the quickest because again, TV gives you the opportunity. I'm watching games, I'm understanding the game, I'm learning the game. I know all the players, I know the teams, I scout, but recruiting is a different animal. So getting my feet wet with recruiting and feeling good about that has been a really big deal. Um, I think that again, just we're dealing with personalities. Like we're dealing with 18 to 22-year-old girls that are going through really it's a point of their life that is really constantly changing, constantly morphing. They're learning who they are. They're learning who they are in college. They're learning who their social groups are. And with all of that, you have to understand that how important it is to learn personalities, to learn people. And so I think a lot of people are caught up in the X's and O's of the game, but you have to do so much personal development at this level, making sure that the team meshes, that everybody is like thriving and growing and learning together. And I think that's another thing that I didn't realize was so heavy or so important was the personal development for these young women beyond just the softball.
What's it like working for Coach Murph versus playing for him?
Oh man, in some ways, like it is feels so similar. Like sometimes he'll say something, and I'm like right back in the spikes in my jersey, and I'm like, man, I have been in this spot when he has said this exact same thing, but I was the player, not his assistant coach. So it's funny because again, there's so much. He's the same guy. It's the reason why I wanted to come back and coach with him because he's just a good human being that does things the right way. But on the flip side, like I really appreciate the working relationship that we have now because I know that he trusts me. I trust him. I'm definitely able to speak my opinions. I have free reign. If I don't understand something, we can have a conversation about it. I feel super confident in our ability to work together to solve problems. And so I think that's cool. I think as a player, it's yes, sir. And you listen to him and you respect him. And as an assistant coach, it's developing that basis of respect for him, but morphing it into a relationship where we're both have the same goals. We're on the same page. How can we challenge each other to make this team as best we can?
He told me when I had him on the podcast that a big pitch of him, he said, look, your family will be part of this experience, that they could travel, that he wants the kids, your kid around and everything like that. Just, what's that been like to share this with your family? Because I know that was when we talked last year on the podcast, that was the thing that was hesitancy. You're growing a family and everything with the coaching lifestyle, but he kind of is like, look, we'll make it work. How has that been going?
Oh, it's been wonderful. I mean, I think number one, it's really cool because he understands. He like Dylan, my daughter, brings such great perspective to the girls because if they're having a hard day, if they went 0 for 4 and they come into the clubhouse and this little girl who's 3 years old that is so excited to see them doesn't know she's 3. She has no idea if they did good, they did bad. She just is happy to see him. Like you have to really, really quickly change your mentality and you have to be a good person to this little kid that's just again joyful and happy to see you. So she brings really good perspective. They're really great role models for her. And Murph held up his end of the bargain. I mean, she's around, she's on the bus with us. She actually just traveled with us to Arizona. She flew on the plane with the girls. Um, they're like her big sisters. I mean, she feels so comfortable. She was begging me, like, she didn't want to sit by me on the bus. She wants to sit by Kinley Pate, she's just a part of it. And they feel like she's a part of the program. They're happy to see her every single day. She'll come at the end of practice, last 15 or 20 minutes after she's done with daycare for the day, and she'll come and say hi to everybody. And Murph is, I'm really grateful because it's easy to ask him if she can be a part of something. I mean, there's a line, obviously, she can't be a part of everything, but um, he knows that the family part for me was the most important thing. And um, I feel really grateful that it's true and he's held up his end of the bargain because she's around.
Running around the bases, I have a feeling will be a very popular thing after games, right? Like
Yes.
I see,
Oh, yes.
I bet that's like their like go to. Like, can we just go run the bases there,
Yep.
mom?
She
Like,
wants to go
right?
run around the outfield. Yeah, she likes to play. They play chase in the yeah, you nailed it.
Oh, the outfield. So it's got the
Yes.
Pettit
She
family
likes the
gene
grass.
there.
She likes
Oh,
the grass. Yes, she does. She
well,
does.
Javi, last year, of course, you get to the World Series. You had that incredible, dramatic Super Regional with Tennessee. I still think Game Two's going on, but we just forgot about it going on. But what was it like to get to the World Series as a coach versus getting there as a player, which you have done?
Yeah, wow. It was a really, really special opportunity. Last year obviously had so many ups and downs. Like we knew that this team was capable, but you can never take a trip to the Women's College World Series for granted. I went 2 out of 4 times as a player, and even as like I was upset as the number one seed. So it's not automatic, and you're not ever guaranteed a trip to Oklahoma City. So anytime it happens, it's extremely special. It was really special for me, and it felt like a full circle moment because I actually lost to Tennessee my senior year in supers. So this team in my first year coaching back, I ended up going to Knoxville again. And I was like, wow, this is like punishment or a sick joke. I don't know. But when we got sent to Knoxville, um, where I ended my career, I was kind of had like a sick feeling in my stomach, not for this team, but just because I remember sitting on the dugout steps and being over and feeling miserable. But for that team to go in as the underdog and go upset Tennessee, extreme joy, super proud. Um, if anything, I was proud of the resiliency of that group because it was a tough season. And for them to believe in themselves at the end was probably the most inspiring thing. Um, I would have been proud of them win or lose, but they just showed so much grit and getting to go and seeing that group of women get to be there because of their just like unending resiliency and belief in themselves was the biggest reward.
What was it like to be in the dugout in OKC as a coach versus being in the outfield at OKC?
I can tell you right now, I get a lot more nervous than when I was a
Okay.
player because you have no control. Um, I laugh because I have one of those like aura rings, and I was reading after and my heart rate was just elevated for like 5 straight hours, like so nervous. But it was great, but I loved every second of it. But yeah, you have no control as a coach. Like everything that you do during that week, you hope is enough, or up till that point, up to that point in the season, you hope everything that you did is enough. But when it comes time to play, it's the girls' show. Like, and we talk about that all the time. Like the coaching is done, and when the game happens, it's trust in their ability to do everything. So definitely feels different being there as a coach because you're out it have no control. You can help them as much as you can, but it's their time to shine. It's their time to go. So much more nerve wracking, but had a ton of fun. Like I was so grateful. I thought we played well in every single game. We had a chance to win every single game. So um, watching them compete, I was really proud of them. Like truly and honestly, it's what you want. Even as an alum, I want an Alabama team every single time they get onto the field to compete hard, do the best they can, and play hard, and they fulfilled that. So it was really, really exciting for me to watch in the dugout.
You're one of the few people in the history of the sport that could say you've covered the World Series from a media perspective, you've played in it, and you've coached in it. I mean,
Yeah,
that's pretty remarkable. I
yeah,
mean,
it's
Lisa
a
Fernandez is the only other one I can think of. There might be a
yeah,
few others I'm forgetting
yeah.
as we talk. But I mean, when I say that, what goes through your mind there?
Yeah, that I've had a pretty freaking cool life. Like I've had really great opportunities, and I'm super thankful for that because I have such a unique perspective because I've seen it from all sides. I when Oklahoma, I was a sideline reporter for one of the games for the studio portion, and I was on the field one year when Oklahoma won. I think it was probably in 2023. Um, yeah, I was on the field, maybe 2022, one of the years that they won. But being on the field for that was unique because I got to do an interview right after the game and report from a national championship winning environment. I obviously celebrated a national championship on the field, and then I got to coach first base and see that. So I just have a lot of different perspective on what it looks like from all different angles. So it's makes me full of gratitude for sure. But I think I've enjoyed every single one, playing probably the best.
I bet. I bet. How much of the media obligation stuff do you talk to your players and teach? Because you know both sides of it. This week's a great example. ESPN, obviously, for those do a lot of behind the scenes interviews with your players. Your program in general gets a lot of media exposure and coverage. Do you talk to your players about that and kind of tell
Yeah.
them what to expect and teach them?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we talk about it. We do like a media training every single year. And so that was something that I definitely help out with. And I talk about the type of questions that people want to ask. We also talk about the importance of making sure you share only what you want to be shared. I think that's important too, because it feels like when somebody asks you a question that you maybe have to feel pressure to answer it, but doing only what you're comfortable with. Obviously, making sure the focus is always on yourself. We don't want to talk about other teams as much as we need to. We just want to make sure that we're staying true to the Alabama way and the Alabama standard. And but also, I think it's important. I talk to them about this. Like nobody wants in an interview just talking to a brick wall, right? They want somebody that has personality. So it's okay to show yourself. Like I talk about that all the time. We definitely want you in an interview to be yourself, to be uniquely you, to answer how you would, like within the parameters of respecting your program. But um, yeah, like I always make sure I'm like, hey, you don't have to like be a robot. You don't have to be super well spoken or perfect or answer every question the right way. You just be yourself. Give answers as honestly like as you feel necessary and um, represent Alabama. And if you do those things, like you're gonna be loved on TV.
Well said. Yeah, that's well perfectly said. When you watch a game today nowadays,
Mhm.
obviously you're watching it probably as a coach, but how much of it are you still watching it from a broadcasting perspective? Does that still pop in? Does that still kind of pop in from time to time?
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest. I'll be listening to like another sport. Like I mean, even like listening to the Super Bowl this past Sunday, like I'm still thinking about it like, oh, is that a good comment from an analyst? Like, do I like that? Do I not like that? Like, I still think about it in a broadcasting frame of mind. And I think like the broadcasting, I sometimes like to listen to a broadcast every once in a while. If I'm watching a game or doing some prep, because I think it offers like a unique perspective on some trends. I think sometimes coaches have a different lens on. Broadcasters have more of an objective lens most of the time, so they can see things that maybe you're not thinking about or that you're blinded by because you kind of are stuck um, in a coach's mentality or only watching film in a certain way. So I think it's a good balance to have. It just I'm always a firm believer that seeing as many different perspectives can help grow knowledge, and so that's what I try and do as a coach.
How would you grade McCleney's rookie year as in the media, taking over for you on a
This
lot of
is
the SEC network, the Sunday night show, which is is a big show there with the baseball softball with DeLucci there.
Your question is so ironic because Haley was actually in our clubhouse yesterday. She was in Tuscaloosa. She stopped by and said hello. So like I told her, I was like, I'm so proud. I thought she did awesome. She's again the epitome of what we want. Like she's well spoken, she's herself, she's uniquely herself. She brings a ton of energy. I thought she did fantastic. She had a really good rapport with Dari and Delucci, and I thought the three of them made a really, really good show. And obviously, like that's one of the things that I miss most. If I'm being really honest with you, that show was one of my favorite things on the planet. So to know that Haley is the predecessor, or excuse me, the next one in line, um, is a really really cool honor. It feels kind of similar to like her taking over after I graduated when I was a senior and she was a freshman. Like I knew that the program was in good hands because she was coming in and she would be there. So same thing with Rally Cap. Like I knew that they were going to be in great hands.
Full circle. I didn't make that connection. Did she? What
Yeah.
was the biggest advice you gave her?
Probably something similar that I give to our girls, which was like have fun with it. Like it's Rally Cap is such a great show because it's lighthearted. I wanted her to not stress or make it too serious. Like Rally Cap is fun. It's unique. It doesn't feel like stuffy. So again, bringing her unique personality to it. Like I know she's fun. She's super confident in the way she speaks. So I said, as long as you're confident in your knowledge of the game, which she absolutely is, if you bring some personality with it, you're going to crush it. She did.
What's it like to be part of a documentary like you were there, part of the 2012 Alabama national title that debuted last year on SEC Network? What was that like to be a part of that?
It was really, really amazing. Number one, I loved it because we had the premiere in Tuscaloosa, and I think like 17 or 18 of the teammates that were on the national championship team came back to celebrate, and we watched the movie together. And that was a really cool because I think that um, might be the most alums from that team that we've ever had in one room since winning the national championship. So that feeling was really cool. Just having everybody back felt really special. And then beyond that, obviously I enjoyed it immensely. I thought it was like beautifully done. I laughed, I cried, but how cool is it to have a movie where my kid can go watch it? Like that's pretty special that she's going to be able to see what it looked like when I played, and a little bit about our story, a little bit about the girls that I played with that are so special to me. Like couldn't have asked for anything like better than that after you win a national championship. It's pretty cool.
Knowing the brain trust over there at SEC Network, I have a feeling they're going to loop that documentary around the weekend of that Oklahoma Alabama when
I
Oklahoma
hope
comes
they
to the
do.
Roadhouse.
I hope they do.
How unique is that going to be having Oklahoma and Texas now in the league?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, this league was already tough. Like they just made it way tougher. That's I mean, the SEC is going to be ridiculous. It's going to be almost every single regional is going to have an SEC team in it. It's going to be a really, really tough go. Whoever wins the SEC every single year is going to have to show an immense amount of grit and resiliency to be able to battle through that gauntlet of a schedule, no matter what the schedule it is, because it's going to be tough. I mean, I think about we have a stretch where we're going to play Florida, LSU, Oklahoma, and it's like that is a ridiculous lineup for 9 games, and it doesn't end there. I mean, it keeps going. Like you add Georgia, we play Mississippi State, Mizzou. Like everybody's ranked, everybody's doing well. Like every single weekend's going to be tough. But having Texas and Oklahoma this season and beyond, um, it's just going to make it absolutely ridiculous. And it's only going to get better because I think recruits will keep flooding to this conference. I think um, it's going to be well supported. Fans will keep pouring into it because it's going to be the best show on TV every single weekend, the best show on dirt every single weekend. So it's just going to be really exciting. It's going to be really tough.
Yes, but it's a long journey, as you know
Yep.
very well. And that's going to be my last question. For this young group this year, what are a couple keys for the rest of the year that to continue to build to get to your goals?
Yeah, I think number one, we talk about it all the time, is making sure through the difficulty, the challenges, the ups and downs that inevitably will happen when playing in this conference and in the season. We have a tough schedule this year. Is staying together. We talk about that all the time. Is we're just in the business of trying to work through things and learn, not point fingers. So we're always on the path and trajectory of learning and upward movement. So we're going to do that. Number one. I think number two, what I love about this group specifically is they work really, really hard, but they're not perfectionists, and trying to keep that in mind. It's like we're not going to be perfect. We're not going to win every game, hit 1,000. Like it's not going to happen. So making sure as long as we're doing the little things that we need to do, learning from every opportunity, um, it's not the end all be all if you get out the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like you have 3 more at bats most likely in the game. So keeping your head focused and not dwelling on the past, but really, really working on how can I get better on my next at bat, I think is going to be really big for this team.
That is Coach Kayla Braud joining us here on In the Circle on D1 Softball. Always a pleasure catching up with you. I've enjoying kind of following your journey here from media to coaching, and I can tell in your voice you're having a blast.
Yeah,
Keep up the great work. Enjoy Clearwater. I'm sure we'll cross paths either there or if not later in the season. But thank you for taking the time from your busy schedule to talk to us.
absolutely, Eric. I'm so grateful. I appreciate you.